Here's a great question that just came up in the popular piano school forums. One person asked, what's the best way to situate my iPad, smartphone, webcam camera, whatever camera I want? What's the best position to put my camera so that I can shoot the videos for the video exchanges? Great, great question. And what I thought I'd do is I thought I'd talk through a couple of different options. Basically what I need to see in the video is to be able to see your hands, your arms, your shoulders. That's the bare minimum. If I can see your face, of course, that'd be lovely. If you're camera shy, you can cut off your face, okay? As long as I see basically from your neck down. Ideally, I'd like to see your back as well, okay? So that I can see your posture to see if you're sitting properly, all right? But the very minimum, it's hands, arms, shoulders, up to here at the very least. Give me a little bit of your back, great. The other thing I need to see, of course, are the keys. I need to see what fingers you're using on which particular keys. So a good angle will show me, the full keyboard as much as possible. If your camera's too low, obviously I'll see your fingers, but I won't be able to differentiate which keys your fingers are landing on. So those are some basic things. I don't need to see your feet. I don't need to see below your waist. So really, I'll show you a couple of different angle possibilities. I'll show you some good angles, and I'll also show you some examples of bad angles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my iPad for the next bit of footage, so you'll see right from the iPad the kind of angle I'm able to achieve using this, okay? So I want to talk very briefly about different tools you can use. These are just optional. You don't need to get this. You can get very creative by using a table and books, just kind of propping things up, or even a music stand would be a good way to prop up your tablet or maybe even your smartphone if it's a wire stand. Here is something that I wanted to show you. It's really cool. It's something called a Manos Mount. You can see my iPad here. The Manos Mount is a really cool mount that allows you to rotate your tablet around. It locks in kind of portrait landscape views. Let me turn this on the side so you can see how this little puppy operates. Check a look at this. The Manos Mount can be angled, self-locking angles, and it has these fingers that grip both sides of the tablet. Look, I don't know if you can see this here. I want to get the angle right. Look how wide the fingers get. That means you can keep the tablet inside of a protective case. You don't have to take it out of a case to put into some custom holder. So this is a true universal tablet and smartphone mount, by the way. This will also hold smartphones. So this is a great tool. If you are going to be shooting a lot of videos, you may want to consider investing in a Manos mount. Now the Manos mount is just this portion up here, and it would attach to a microphone stand. And I'll give you links to where you can get both a Manos mount and a mic stand. They're both made by a company called AirTurn. And AirTurn happens to be a company that I co-founded a number of years ago. And from AirTurn's store, you can get both the Manos mount and a cool new mic stand called the Go stand. It just came out. The Go stand is a mic stand that is incredible. Probably the world's most portable mic stand. This thing can fold down to fit in your backpack or your travel bag. Amazing. You can set it up so that it's a full-size mic stand. And that's so you're going to need two components if you go the Manos Mount route. The Manos Mount itself and a mic stand to mount it on top of. And that would be a great way to mount your tablet or smartphone. Sorry, I'm getting the lights over here. Great way to mount your tablet or smartphone to be able to shoot great videos and to be able to send them to me pretty easily. Okay, so let's take a few moments and take a look at a couple of examples shot from my iPad of good and bad angles when shooting videos for your video exchanges. So here's an example of a bad angle where the iPad is just too low and too close to the piano. So I can't really see your arms too far. I can't see your shoulders, certainly, and I really can't tell what your posture is like. I can see your fingers, but it's very hard to see which notes you're playing. I can sort of make it out, but because the angle is so straight on, it's hard to make out the individual notes. Okay, so please don't shoot your video like this. Now here's an example of an angle that's kind of ideal for folks who are shy, who don't want to have their heads in the view. But you can see my shoulders, you can see my arms, you see my back. This is great for me to kind of assess your posture, and you can see the keys. Notice that the keys you can see them kind of at an angle. So I can see your left-hand notes and your right-hand notes. Now, the iPad right now is probably about 4 feet away from the piano and about 4 feet high and angled down. So it can be a little challenging to get your iPad high enough to get the angle where you can see all these keys, but if you can get a position like this, for those folks who are shy, this is pretty ideal. Okay, so that's what the piano sounds like from this distance with just using the iPad's mic. And this is if you can shoot your videos kind of like this is great. Obviously, I would love to see your faces. So if you're not shy, feel free to angle the iPad accordingly. Let me see if I can get a shot in where you can see my lovely face while I play. Now, if you don't mind having your face on video, this is probably the ideal angle. I can see your smiling face as you perform, but more importantly, I can see your head, your shoulders, your arms, your back. Even I can see a little bit of your seated position, so I can see if you're seated too far forward or just right on your bench or wherever you're sitting on. So this is kind of an ideal angle using my iPad. Now the iPad is a good 5-6 feet away from the piano, about 5 feet high too. So it's quite a high angle. This is where getting a Manos Mount and a mic stand is going to be ideal for situating your iPad. Again, not absolutely necessary. The previous angle where you just saw my shoulder and my arms and the keyboard, that would work just fine, and the iPad doesn't need to be quite as far or quite as high. But this is, kind of the best angle, if you will. I can see enough of the keyboard, I can see your left hand and your right hand as you play. And that's what my acoustic piano sounds like. Now keep in mind that you want to make sure there's enough light around the room so that you can see the keys clearly. If you can try to achieve that, that'd be great. If you're in a sunny room, terrific. Just make sure there's enough light so that the iPad can capture all the details of your fingers and the keys, and you should be good to go.